Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Learn One New Thing webinar. My name is Sydney Baxter, and I'm a training specialist here at the Ag Leader Academy. I'll be walking you through today's Learn One New Thing webinar series, where I hope you learn one new thing about today's topic, which is going to be the perks of an SMS Advanced license. Give me a moment here, and I'll begin sharing my screen. Today is primarily going to be about SMS and the advanced license. However, I do try my best to sprinkle in some AgFiniti. So we will be talking a little bit about how you can manage additional licenses on AgFiniti today. But other than that, we'll be sticking with SMS. Right now, you'll notice on your screen, I'm sharing a video of my screen, which is an SMS Advanced license. Now, within this SMS Advanced license, I have a project open here, and I have multiple tabs opened and renamed across the top. Each of these tabs is what I'm going to be demonstrating with the SMS features that you gain with the SMS Advanced license. The first thing I want to mention here with the SMS Advanced license is the projects. While I can't show you the projects window, I was having issues with this and re-pulling it back up. I want to talk about the advanced features of the projects you have available with the SMS Advanced license. The first feature that you immediately will notice with an SMS Advanced license as you open the desktop software is that you have the ability to add as many projects as you want. It's important to add multiple projects or keep projects separate as this helps with the backup time. Projects can be also used to keep data private. So as you think of SMS, think of it as a file cabinet. Each of your products are a different file folder within your cabinet, and keeping them separate is going to ensure data privacy. It's going to ensure keeping your data consolidated in one form, and it's easier to back up. Now I want to jump onto the platform that you see here. Before I got started, I should have mentioned that this webinar is recorded and will be uploaded to the Learn One New Thing playlist. So if you're hurrying up and trying to scribble down all the notes of today's lesson, no worries. We are going to record this and it will be uploaded for you to view at any point in time or share it with a friend. Some of the features you gain with an SMS Advanced license once you open the project include the ability to download Lidar data, view your data in a 3D grid, and use the Dataset playback tool, which is what we'll spend the first few minutes on this morning. Lidar data is light detecting and ranging data. You'll notice I have a tab at the top named Lidar. I've renamed this tab. This tab is a map created of an elevation model that I have listed in my management tree. I was able to download this elevation model by going to File and download Lidar data from Internet. This is an SMS Advanced exclusive feature as it is not available for SMS Basic users. So if you are an SMS Basic user, you might have this option grayed out. Also note that this option is only available if you're connected to the internet and you're a US customer only. Once you download this LiDAR data, it will appear in your management tree under Grower Smith, Home, East McMains, No Year, Elevation Model. What I've done is create a map of this model, which is listed in the preview window as well as the mapping area. One thing to note about this LiDAR data is it helps us create maps that are more accurate with elevation data as it imports extremely dense data points. One thing to note about the data points that come through is it takes account of, it looks like a little over 2.5 million GPS data points here. So we can see we have a very dense count of data points that came in that will help us generate our 3D grid to create an elevation model that we can use for operations where we need extreme accuracy on elevation, such as tiling. What I've done with this elevation model is I right-clicked on it and chose to regenerate my 3D grid. When I chose to generate my 3D grid, I have already created a map to show you all and demonstrate in class. Once I regenerated the 3D grid, I was able to choose the 3D grid icon in the toolbar here, expand the 3D dimension by, or the Z-axis dimension by 10, and you'll notice I have an elevation model that allows me to preview my data in 3D view. Now again, this data can be used for something like tiling, where your accuracy needs to be extremely correct, or where your accuracy needs to be on point here. Lidar data is exclusive to SMS Advanced users and allows you to have a more accurate reading on elevation data. Now, the next feature I would like to show you with an SMS Advanced license is the Dataset Playback tool. The Dataset Playback tool allows you to view your data in real time as it was logged. If you were to choose a map, so I've created a map of 22 planting data for the East McMains field. With an SMS Advanced license, I can choose to use the Dataset Playback tool in the toolbar at the top of the mapping area. It'll open the Dataset Playback window where I can choose Play in the upper right-hand corner, and I can choose to increase my playback speed. Let's do 20 here. Now, what we can see within the Dataset Playback tool is we can watch our implement log the data as it was logged out in the field. This is an extremely helpful tool for troubleshooting. If you are troubleshooting your planting data, say in this example, with the data that somebody else logged in the field. Give you an extra moment here to watch the Dataset Playback tool logging the planting data as it was logged out in the field. If you have any questions, I'd invite you now to drop them in the chat over the Dataset Playback tool and the Lidar data download, which are both SMS exclusive features. I'm going to choose pause and close out of this window here to begin going on to the next feature. So the next feature, what I want to spend most of my time on this morning is going to be the batch tools within SMS Advanced and the analysis wizard within SMS Advanced. This is what we spend most of our time on in class, so that's why I would like to spend most of the time during this webinar on the batch command tools and the analysis wizard. If I open up the batch command, we really start to see where SMS Advanced comes into play. A lot of times we have people come through in class and they will be like, what's the true value of an SMS Advanced license? Do I really need it, or can I accomplish the same things with the SMS Basic license? The batch command tool is where SMS Advanced shines. Saves you so much time, whether you're importing files, printing files, or doing any of the other batch commands that you see here. When we open up the batch command tool, some of these tools are available in the SMS Basic license. However, the two that I want to spend my time on today are going to be importing files and printing map layers. These are exclusive to the SMS Advanced license, and I think they truly save you the most amount of time and are the most used for the SMS Advanced license within the batch command utility here. The one I want to talk on first is importing files. Whenever we import generic files, whether they be boundaries or other sorts of log data, we can import them one at a time from a display monitor or via generic files. As we import them one at a time, it can be sort of time consuming depending on how many fields we have. However, using the batch command tool, we can import files with one button press. Where it really shines is when you upload a template for importing these files. Show you what I mean here by choosing OK at the bottom. Modifying my settings here, telling SMS what types of files I would like to import. Now SMS is going to ask us, what files do you wish to import? When I choose Add, I'll navigate to where these files are stored on my computer. For this example, I've already read in field 1 here. Field 1 is what I've created a template over. So the very first time I read in these files, I created a template. Using that template, I'm going to read in field 2, 3, and 4. I'll select each of the fields by holding down the Control key and selecting the 3 fields I wish to read in using the batch command tool. I'll choose Open at the bottom here and choose OK. SMS is going to preview the data that I want to read in here, so I'll choose Next. I'll be importing these as boundary files and using them as a set field boundary. Once I make those selections, I'll choose Next. Here's where I will begin loading in my template. My template is going to be telling SMS how I want this data to come in based on the file I'm trying to read. Using the first field that I showed you within my file repository on my computer, I'll be loading in fields 2, 3, and 4 using the same template so they appear in the same fashion with the same names, the same data set listed in the management tree. Choose Next at the bottom, Next once again, and I'll select the grower, farm, and field in which I wish the words are hard this morning, in which I want the field boundaries to be listed under. We don't need to worry about selecting the field as the field names are already selected using the template I used previously. I'll choose Next at the bottom and Finish. SMS is going to look at each of those 3 files and bring them in. They're going to be brought in under Grower Turner, so I'll give my SMS 1 second here to catch up. And I should be able to find fields 2, 3, and 4 listed under Grower Turner within my management tree. Something must have messed up with my template here because it looks like all of them came in as a dataset level. However, you get the gist of whenever I batch command and import a file, it will be listed as the template that I wanted to use. So for Turner Farms, I read in field 1. If I were to read in those correctly, which I must have missed a step here, I don't want to go back and redo my steps because I have a few other things I want to show you, but they would be listed under Turner Farms as field 2, 3, and 4. So again, that was under batch command and importing files. Now the next batch utility I would like to show you. Oh, thank you, Kevin, for sharing that. He said you guys cannot see the windows that I'm talking about. So let me try again. Here, thank you for bringing that to my attention in the chat there. Okay, the next feature I want to show you under batch command is the printing map layers. Printing map layers is also something we spend lots of time on in class, as it allows you to print multiple years or operations or fields worth of data using a single button press. If I were to go into print map layers and choose OK, I can select the grower, farm, and field in which I wish to print data for. Let's say I just finished planting season and Grower Smith requests all of his planting data with the rate and hybrid listed on there. I spend some time creating a custom print layout. I save that layout, and now I want to apply this layout to all of Grower Smith's fields for the year of 2018 planting data. I can filter down to Grower Smith, all his farms, all his fields for the year of 2018. I'll select the operation to be planting, and I'll choose Next. Once I filter through the data, it's going to take me to the mapping layers where it tells me I have 8 layers listed at the top. The 8 layers are the 8 fields worth of data in which I am printing for. Now, I told you how I spent all this time using a custom print or creating this custom print layout, and I want to use this custom print layout for the East McMains and all the other fields worth of data for 2018. I can load the layout by going to the folder icon in the main toolbar and choosing the layout in which I named and would like to use. You see here that it changed my layout to be the rate and hybrid along with the corresponding maps titled the item that I listed within the custom print layout. If I were to choose to print all at the bottom here, I can save these as a PDF to be able to email to a client. It's going to save all 8 fields worth of data to be used. I have already saved this PDF to my desktop, so let me pull it where you can see it. And if I were to scroll through here, notice that I have East McMains as the field, West McMains, the other half of West McMains, Boonder East and West. So all of Grower Smith fields are listed here for the 2018 planting season, along with their hybrids and their rates. That was one simple button press, again, under the batch command. Importing files and printing map layers are where we spend most of our time within the SMS Advanced class. However, if you wanted to learn more about each of these batch command tools and how you could use these batch commands across multiple fields, certainly review tutorials listed in our YouTube channel over the batch command tools you see here. We spend a lot of time on batch command tools, so I want to pause and ask if there are any questions on batch command. If there are, please drop them in the chat now. All right, seeing none here, the next tool I would like to go over within the SMS Advanced license is the Analysis Wizard. Now, whenever you hear the word wizard at AgLeader, what we mean is we're going to walk you through it. We're going to hold your hand. The wizard here, or the wizard behind the scenes, is not going to let you fail, and we're going to walk you through each step of the process in order to complete each of these analysis functions. If you were to choose the Analysis Wizard in the main toolbar, the Wizard window will appear, and it shows you the different types of analyses that you can run on your fields within SMS. Three I want to talk about specifically are the comparison analysis, multi-year average analysis, and agronomic analysis. If you wanted to learn more about each of these, I'll go into detail on the three. However, you can also learn more about through tutorials that we have listed on our YouTube page. There is a tutorial over each different analysis function you see here. The first analysis tool I want to show you is the comparison analysis. When I tap on the comparison analysis here, notice that I have functions listed on the left or the right-hand side of my window. These functions are pre-built. I've already built them, or they've come in with my project that I've restored, and I can run them on a single field that you see at the bottom here, or multiple fields. Before I run it, I do want to show you how it was built by choosing the yield by hybrid example, selecting edit. Notice first we had to name it, then we had to choose what data are we trying to compare. In a comparison analysis, we're taking attributes from data sets and we're comparing the two. So in this example, we're comparing yield by hybrid. How did each of my hybrids perform in the field? Choose next. I'll select the attributes in which I wish to compare in my comparison analysis and choose next, as well as finish again. I'll cancel out of here since this is already built. I don't want to duplicate it. So we'll choose yield by hybrid and run it for a single field. Here, SMS is going to ask us what type of data which data do you want to compare for all the fields you have listed in SMS. I want to use East McMains as my reference data set, so I'll choose the East McMains field, next, and finish. I'm going to cancel out of this window because I have already generated a yield by hybrid tab. That way we didn't take up any processing time. My yield by hybrid tab is a little big because I was playing with the size earlier, but now I have taken it down to fit the entire screen width, where you see we have a report style format that was generated from this comparison analysis, where I can see how each of my hybrids yielded within the field, as well as additional attributes, such as our moisture and area count. Quick tip here, a lot of people have commented, whenever these analyses come out, I can never read them when I print them. There's just too much data on the screen. Using the control key and the scroll wheel on your mouse, you can expand the text here to make it fit the entire page worth of printing. You could print this report by right-clicking and choosing Print at the bottom, to where you can save it as a PDF or print it directly to a printer that you're connected to. That was the comparison analysis in the Analysis Wizard. Using the functions and add, we can compare multiple different attributes that we add over. Again, we do have an extensive tutorial over this on our YouTube page if you wish to learn more about the comparison analysis. The next tool I want to show you within the Analysis Wizard is a multi-year average analysis. Now, multi-year average analysis allows us to compare data across multiple different years, regardless of the crop type. Multi-year average analysis allows us to use corn and soybean data and put it into a function, run it for a single field, and gather data over how our yield varies within the field. I'll close out of here and show you what the map might look like if we were to create a multi-year average analysis. We see multi-year average analysis listed here at the top. If I were to choose it, I could select CV normalized year, where it shows me the variation across my field for the multiple crop types I've included in the multi-year average analysis. Now, this trumps the yield analysis that we saw in the analysis wizard, as the yield analysis only allows us to perform an analysis over multiple years, but one crop type. The last analysis I want to showcase here is the agronomic analysis. Notice how there's no functions available for choosing in here, and we can't add or edit. That's because there's no setup required for the agronomic analysis. Agronomic analysis uses the data that we already have within the management tree, runs it for a single field, choose next a few times here, and then it will look at the fertilizer rates that we're applying. So again, using data that we already have listed in the management tree, as well as any financial data. I'm going to cancel out of here to generate a map that looks like the one you see in my mapping area here. Now, this brings in additional data for new attributes such as nitrogen efficiency, phosphorus efficiency, break-even cost, profit loss. I don't have any financial data in here, so I can't exactly show you the break-even cost or what it would look like with profit loss here. But these are great attributes to include in an equation if you're writing an equation-based analysis. We could have a whole separate webinar, 20 minutes or an hour and a half over the equation-based analysis wizard. So I won't dive too deeply into that. But the equation-based analysis in the analysis wizard allows us to reference multiple variables. Using other analysis functions within the analysis wizard, we can create those additional variables to be used. Questions on the analysis wizard? Put those in the chat now. This was a requested topic, specifically the analysis wizard on the previous webinars that I have hosted. So if you do want to learn even more about the analysis wizard, please note that in your survey feedback. The last thing I want to show you with the SMS Advanced license is the ability to manage additional modules that you can stack onto the SMS Advanced license using AgFiniti. I'm logged into AgFiniti now, and I've logged in using my SMS registration login information. So if you're an SMS Advanced user, you do have an AgFiniti login. No need to create one. Using that registration credential, I can purchase different modules to stack on top of my SMS Advanced license. I won't go into detail. Again, we could spend hours on the different modules that you have available for you. There are 5. However, I will show you how you can purchase them in in AgFiniti. If you go to the upper left right-hand menu, you can choose licenses, and you'll be directed to the page you see here. Using the SMS Advanced license, you can then begin stacking the additional modules such as booklet printing, plot prescription, water management, field trial, and I'm missing the other one here, and choose to buy it using the buy icon in the upper left-hand corner. You can buy those directly from AgFiniti and manage them on AgFiniti as well. If you'd like to learn more about those, certainly visit our knowledge base or watch the tutorials on YouTube. I'm going to address any questions now in the chat, and I'm also going to pull up the survey that I have here for you all to take as I am addressing any questions. One moment here. Alrighty, you should be able to see the survey QR code available for taking. If you want to see any additional topics listed, certainly do so in your survey. I don't see any questions listed in the chat here, so I'll leave this up for the last few announcements. There is an extensive article on the knowledge base that lists the difference between the SMS Basic and Advanced license. You all are welcome to preview that as it's a public article. And I appreciate you joining and taking time out of your day to watch this Learn One New Thing webinar. My name's Sydney. If you have any questions, please reach out. Please mention it in your survey. And if there are none, that concludes today's webinar series. Thank you.